During the period of war in the north and east, the sole task was of ensuring that school education was carried out without any glitches, while facing a great deal of pressure from weapon-bearing groups on one hand and orders from the state via state officials, was carried out by the teachers in these areas. It is not an exaggeration to state that the majority of their lives were spent amidst great hardships. The first thing to be given to these teachers as a peace dividend is to ensure that the policies in place for other teachers in the country are applied uniformly. It has been seen that a system is in place where arbitrary decisions are being made regardless of any proper policy. 367 teachers who were serving in Jaffna, Mana and Vaunia will be transferred to Mullaitivu, Madu and Kilinochchi with the commencement of the next school term. Children who were once displaced and later resettled do most certainly have a right to a proper education. However, this haphazard teacher transfer system questions these very values. So much so that the educational director of the Northern Province has not even taken measures to issue a proper letter of transfer to these 367 teachers. Only this common sheet of paper has been issued to all 367 of them. Even transfers of zonal education directors had been done according to their whims and fancies. The Education Ministry is like a place that discharges patients and admits individuals who are in good health. My definition is that this is an institution that conducts work carelessly. When these transfers are handed, they haven't considered individuals who are sick, nor have they considered individuals who have children.
We
too lived as IDPs. During those days, we taught our children while being on the streets. We didn't have time to look into the needs of our children. Even at present, are we supposed to leave our children behind and go for duties in rural areas?
The majority of these teachers who have been arbitrarily transferred are above the age of 40 years. Information with regard to the teachers were obtained from Jaffna only after they were given transfers. This is wrong. These transfers have been given to the same teachers who had served in rural areas. They have again been given transfers to Vanni. They say that there is a proper mechanism for this. If the government says that there is a proper method, then why are these transfers being given in this manner? The system of teacher transfers should mandatorily have a humanitarian element. Failure to follow this will result in severe demoralization on the part of these teachers. As a result of this, is it not plain to see who will have to pay the price of their demoralization? Then should not the national policy on teacher transfer be strictly enforced to ensure that situations such as these do not take place? Governor of the Northern Province, this is over to you.
Welcome back to News First. Well, Shasta Lenagay joins us now with the very latest from the Australia election. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the News First International Desk. Let's take a look at the top story that's been making headlines here at News First in the past few days. Polls have closed in Australia in a general election that looks to be one of the tightest in the country for decades. Early exit polls put Julia Gillard, Australia's first female Prime Minister, ahead of her Conservative rival Tony Abbott.
$14 million registered voters began casting their ballots at 8 a.m. Voting is compulsory in Australia. An exit poll by Channel 9 suggested a narrow victory by Gillard with an expected win of 52% compared to Abbott's 48%. But the exit polls also suggest a swing against Labour in key marginal seats. As the campaign drew to an end, one opinion poll gave Gillard a narrow lead over Abbott, while another had them level. Such polls raised the possibility of the country's first hung parliament since 1940.
At this time of the evening, it's 9:30 in Melbourne. Most of the votes in Victoria or the East Coast have been counted. On a general sense, the Liberal Party is slightly behind in the number of seats overall. But we are hoping that the Western Australian count, which started about an hour ago, will bring more seats to us. As the evening draws to a close, we are happy because we have done really well.
Abbott, who leads the Liberal Party, worked through the final night of the campaign. He has tried to exploit the Labour Party's divisions after the departure of Kevin Rudd and has pledged to tighten immigration. Gillard, who called snap elections shortly after coming to office, is hoping to be rewarded for the government's handling of the economy. During campaigning, both candidates made several visits to marginal constituencies, upon which the given slim margin between them, the election could be hanged. Most of these are in the states of Queensland and New South Wales. All of the seats in the lower house are up for grabs, plus half of the seats in the Senate, where opinion polls show the Greens could end up holding the balance of power. Labour is locked into such a tight election race that it represents a turnaround in its fortunes since the start of the year. Missteps by Kevin Rudd on climate change and a controversial mining tax caused his support previously high to fall sharply. Gillard was Kevin Rudd's deputy, and when she challenged him for the leadership in June, he surrendered without a fight after realizing his support among government colleagues had collapsed. But Gillard's move triggered a backlash, with support for her falling sharply in the 2 months since she has been in office. She has also been hit by a series of damaging leaks during the campaign, something that Tony Abbott has cited as evidence of disarray within the Labour rank. Abbott meanwhile has toned down his well-known climate change skepticism and talked tough on immigration, portraying his coalition as a stable answer to a government beset by infighting.
On a more lighter note, following in the footsteps of Paul the Octopus, the Aussies have gotten hold of a psychic crocodile who predicts Julia Gillard as the winner of the Australians' elections.
The audience is hushed. Harry the psychic crocodile is about to predict Australia's next Prime Minister. Harry's handler, Nigel Palmer, says he has no idea who Harry likes for victory. So will it be Labour leader Julia Gillard or Liberal leader Tony Abbott? It's a win for Gillard, says Harry. A bit stingy with her chicken though, isn't she?
Moving away from the psychic crocodile, in the latest developments we have received here at News First, Australia appears to be heading for a hung parliament, with neither of the two main rivals likely to win the 76 seats needed for an outright majority. ABC Radio Australia is predicting 73 seats for the opposition coalition, 72 for the ruling Labour, 1 for Greens and 4 independents. Do stay with us as we keep you posted on all and any developments in this regard. And from the sports desk, we have with us here in the studio Krishni Panditratna. Good evening to you, Krishni.
Good evening, Sonali,
It's
and good
yours.
evening to you. Sports First is always on the lookout to highlight sportsmen and women who struggle to continue their sports activities despite various obstacles. Today on Sports First, we focus on a netball team from the Nicobarate area, which is trying to strive for excellence in the sport. Here's a look.
The Kadapat Vehra Junior School in the Nicobarate area is a school where not more than 200 children receive their primary education. This school, which faced a situation where it may have to be closed down due to the decline in the number of students 10 years ago, has now reached a level where it can pose a challenge to all other schools in netball. This year, the netball team of the Kadapat Vehra Junior School managed to clinch a very important victory as they emerged champions in the All-Ireland Under-14 B Division Netball Championships held at the Bernard Aluvihara grounds in Marthalee. They defeated Hillwood College Candy in the finals 24-12.
Those girls were well built. They had their own uniforms. We wore our school shoes for the tournament. We only had 7 players as well. However, thanks to the efforts of our players, we were able to win. We hope to play well next year and win the championship.
These children have to look at other teams before they play, as they have their own netball attire. They have the necessary shoes for the sports. But some of our girls don't even have shoes. We only plan to stay in Marthalee for 2 days. We found it difficult to find funds to hire a van to get back. The birth of netball at the Kadapat Vehra Junior School took place in 2002 after the arrival of Priyanthi Champika Kumari, who is a netball instructor. There are around 30 to 40 children who can play netball in the school, but we have only 6 girls. The main challenge we face is to assemble a complete netball team. However, these girls from the Kadapat Behra Junior School have something to smile about after their huge victory this year.
We have financial difficulties. We also lack the required facilities. However, we managed to win the championships. I am extremely happy.
If anyone can help these girls to go further in netball by providing the necessary requirements, it will be extremely appreciated.